So what does this actually look like, this mission? So again, I think vision statements and mission statements are high level and important, and they set these kind of high level framings. Now we start to drill down and scaffold down further and further, saying, okay, what does that mission look like in practice? So the next level we'll look at is we're calling the pillars of success. So what does succeeding at this mission look like in a more granular way? And we're proposing 4 pillars of success. So succeeding in this mission would look like 1, Canadian engineers pushing and applying the cutting edge of technology. So again, this isn't just pure play artificial intelligence and whatnot. It's also the integration of new technologies and existing technologies back into traditional settings. So the artificial intelligence that's maybe helping to optimize the process for an oil refinery and bring about all sorts of benefits, whether they're economic, safety, sustainability that we're seeing by leveraging the power of artificial intelligence in this old second industrial fundamental setting. The second pillar is around integrating the societal implications of technology into our work. So 150 years ago, 200 years ago, the big questions around technology and society were more about parts failure. Will the bridge fall down because the individual engineer was corrupt or unethical? Now, when we fast forward today in this new context of the fourth industrial revolution, the potential thinking about societal benefit and risk in this context is all about systems failure. Will artificial intelligence run amok in certain ways, or will nanotechnology have unintended consequences? And so we need to actually, these are subtle systems level things where the lines between technological systems and societal systems are blurring, and engineers need the capacity and the sense of responsibility around being able to ensure public benefit in this context. Third is, if you look at the first 2 pillars, it's about the engineering community itself stepping up and stepping out. But in looking at this bigger vision for the world, we recognize it's not just about engineers. So the third pillar is about actively engaging in cross-cutting collaborations focused on big challenges. And when we say cross-cutting here, we mean, yes, across different engineering disciplines, but even bigger than that. So it's engaging with all of the other parts of society, the experts from different fields, whether it be in policy or in business or in other kind of areas, to make sure that we're bringing all of the perspectives and all of the skills that are required to navigate these new big complex challenges. And then the fourth pillar is a recognition that it's necessary but insufficient that engineers step up and play this bigger role. It's necessary but insufficient that other experts step up and that we all collaborate to be able to manage these dynamic challenges. But when we look at sort of the fundamental shifts between technology and society, we're recognizing that there's going to be a broad technological literacy and engagement required in the general public. So for any citizen, for any worker, for any member of society, basically, that this technological literacy, technological engagement with everybody is going to be necessary to achieve this vision where technology is taking us is benefiting all of humanity and taking us towards the world we want to see. So those are 4 pillars of success that help us to get more granular from the vision and to break things down and to start to connect with our tangible lab initiatives and activities, so that we've scaffolded all the way up from the big context all the way down to the day-to-day actions. The next thing we want to look at is what we're calling pathways to success. And so if these are the pillars of success, what success looks like, what are the pathways that we think are most important that tell us how we'll get there? So the first pathway that we think is important to consider is around building capacity with the engineering community. So this is talking about the need for more leadership, systems thinking, collaboration skills, ability to understand societal implications. So we're working on what are the sub-buckets of skills that are most and competencies that are most required within the engineering community itself to be able to play this bigger role and achieve this bigger success. Second is we need to be able to actually ensure that these platforms for collaboration exist. So how do we create and incentivize the creation of these new platforms? So there's things like the Energy Futures Lab in Alberta or Water Tap in Ontario, which are already great examples of collaboration across diverse fields on big challenges. In order to live up to this vision we're talking about, we need more of these types of collaborations coming up. So what does it look like to identify the latest challenges and help create new collaboration platforms? What does it look like for engineers to contribute even more in the collaboration platforms that exist? So this is sort of an infrastructure and an ability we need to be able to create and incentivize more of these collaborations that will be required. Third is around championing diversity and inclusivity. So we need people to understand that in order to achieve this vision and mission of the world we're talking about, that diversity and inclusivity is absolutely critical. There's no way we can achieve the vision and mission without diversity and inclusion. It's a social justice issue, and we should have dealt with it long ago just on the social justice kind of basis. But now with these overall dynamics that are happening within technology and society, the stakes are getting raised even more. So, there was a story that came out not long ago on CNN where they were talking about how implicit bias is being baked right into the design of artificial intelligence and the way it's being trained, because the designers and engineers who are working on it are a homogenous group that are not representative of the full diversity of society. And so when you think about how ingrained and embedded a level of, we're actually building bias right into base technologies that will then go on to be used to answer all sorts of other problems. So the stakes are becoming unacceptable, even more unacceptable, of not actually achieving diversity and inclusivity within the engineering community. And then finally, we have the concept of injecting vitality and new thinking into the community. So this is the idea that to get where we want to go within a reasonable time frame, it's important that individual engineers and organizations and associations and the engineering community as a whole are all sort of signing up to this challenge and sort of working at different levels to sort of enhance the contribution we're taking, step up and step out into this new contribution. This last pathway is about doing that in a public way, and about celebrating sort of the work you're doing and encouraging sort of a collective movement to help us get to where we need to go together. So those are 4 pillars and pathways that kind of build down from the vision, mission, pillars, pathways to help bring sort of real tangibility and get closer and closer to our ground level actions with this work.